Welcome to European Research Night. It is a public event that connects the researchers to the general audience, and its objective is to bring research innovation and its protagonists to all kinds of publics of all ages through various activities such as workshops, shows, games, talks, and more. Hi everyone, I'm Sohini and I'm doing a PhD in chemistry in Institut de Ciencia de Materials de Barcelona, UAB, and this is my research group. And I'm going to talk about things that glow. Most of us have been fascinated by the way things glow. When the glowing objects are exposed to the light, preferably ultraviolet rays, they absorb these lights and emit in the form of light energy, which is prominently visible in the dark. You might have thought, what is the special substance that is present in fireflies which makes them glow? Or, in order to get these stars glow, why do we have to first shine them in bright light? Why do we have to bend the glow sticks to make them glow? Or how does the surface of the ocean sparkle at night sometimes? And what kind of light do you use to find evidence in forensics or for security purposes? And what are the glowing substances that the scientists prepare all the time in the lab? All these are called luminescent substances. And it has been derived from the ancient Roman word called lumen, which means light. Fluorescent materials are one of the types of luminescent substances that has many applications as chemical sensors, dyes, fluorescent labeling, biological detectors, medicine, and more. Here is an example of fluorescent compound which has been prepared in the lab, and it absorbs radiation in UV region that is invisible to human eye, while in presence of UV light it emits a distinct color which makes it glow. This phenomena can be explained by Jablonski diagram. When the fluorescent material has been irradiated with UV light, the electron is excited from ground state to excited state. Once it reaches the excited state, it undergoes a vibrational relaxation through different levels, and due to lack of vibrational and electronic energy state overlap and large energy difference between the ground and excited states, the transition is very slow as it returns to the ground state, resulting in emission of photons, which makes the compound glow. These are the 4 different types of fluorescent dyes, which are brown, yellow, greenish yellow, and red in color, in white light. Now when we turn the light off and expose the dyes in UV lamp of shorter wavelength at 254 nanometers, it shows less intensified fluorescence, but when exposed to higher wavelength region at 365 nanometers, it glows brighter. For instance, rhodamine 6G absorbs light in the shorter wavelength region with a maxima at 530 nanometers and emits in a higher wavelength region with a maxima at 565 nanometers. The emission peak has been redshifted in this case. Now similarly, few fluorescent compounds have been developed in the lab which emits in the longer wavelength region to that they absorb. Can you guess what is inside these vials, and do they glow in dark or in UV radiation? Or what is this phenomenon called? Well, these are glow-in-the-dark pigment powders that can be used to paint emergency exits or for security purposes, for makeup, luminescent clothing, fishing lures, or other examples. This type of luminescence is called phosphorescence. Remember the Jablonski diagram for fluorescence? We see the diagram again, but in this case, the electron, instead of returning back to the ground state, it moves from the singlet state to the triplet state through an inter-system crossing and undergoes an internal conversion between the vibrational state, thus falls back to the ground state. In simple terms, phosphorescence is a process in which energy absorbed by a substance is released relatively slowly in the form of light. This is, in some cases, the mechanism used for glow-in-the-dark materials, which are charged by exposure to light. Coming back to the glow-in-the-dark pigment powders, in white light these are yellow, aqua blue and sky blue in color. So first, UV radiations are irradiated in order to get them charged, and then we observe that the pigment powders continue to glow even in the dark. Anywhere that using fluorescent paint makes sense, it makes even more sense to use phosphorescent glow paint instead. Fluorescent paints are a lot fun but require black lights to give off any light at all. But these glow paints will obtain their maximum charge even when exposed to the same black light, but will also keep glowing when the lights go off. Let's discuss another kind of luminescence called bioluminescence. Bioluminescence is light produced by a chemical reaction within a living organism. It is a type of chemiluminescence. It is a cold light phenomenon, which means less than 20% of light generates thermal radiation or heat. Most of the bioluminescent organisms are marine species including fish, bacteria and jellyfishes. Some bioluminescent organisms including fireflies and fungi are found on land. The bioluminescent color, for example yellow in fireflies, greenish in lanternfish, is a result of the arrangement of luciferin molecules. Luciferin is the compound that produces light. For many of these organisms, bioluminescence provides a camouflage, or some of them hide their silhouette from any predators. In some lab experiments, researchers have found that many jellyfish don't produce their own luciferin, rather, they acquire it from their diet. This suggests, although jellyfish first emerged hundreds of millions of years ago, they gained their bioluminescent properties much later. After consuming luciferin proved to be an advantageous thing. Now to summarize all the points I've mentioned, we can start with the most important point. Most of the glowing substances that glow in the dark or in presence of black light are luminescent substances. Fluorescence is a type of phenomena in which a particular chemical compound, the fluorochrome, emits light of a particular color for very shortly after being hit by light of another color. In most cases, the emitted light has a longer wavelength and therefore lower energy than the absorbed radiation. The term phosphorescence was first used to describe the persistent luminescence afterglow of phosphorus. Excitation happens in the same way as that of fluorescence through electromagnetic radiation. Alongside the singlet states, a triplet state exists and so-called intersystem crossing can occur since triplet state is energetically more favorable than the singlet state. The energy is trapped in this state for a while and can only be released slowly. After all energy has been released, the electrons are back in the ground state. The difference is that the glow of fluorescence stops right after the source of excited radiation is switched off, whereas for phosphorescence, an afterglow with duration of fractions of a second up to hours can occur. Lastly, bioluminescence is a special type of chemiluminescence catalyzed by enzymes in living organisms. The light yield of such reactions can reach 100%, which means that almost without exception, every molecule of the reacting luciferin is transformed into a radiating state. All of the bioluminescent reactions best known today are catalyzed oxidation reactions occurring in the presence of air. Thanks for watching my video. Please like and follow the YouTube channel of Research 9 and enjoy the activities scheduled at lani.delarisarca.cat.